Welcome to the January 14th meeting of the Darien Advisory Board. We do have a quorum. Since there is no public here, I assume there is no public comment. Approval of the minutes that you all saw after the meeting, and I got approvals back from most of you at the time.
Motion to approve.
Yep.
All in favor? Programming update.
Okay. I distributed this by email earlier today. Did everyone have a chance to, anyone need hard copy? I have copies.
Notice the agenda I cut and pasted where I had the same number mistake that I had 3 agendas.
Oh, that's okay. So what I have in front of you now is the quarterly update, which I'll be presenting to the Board of Selectmen next week. We've changed our meeting schedule, so I get to let you see it before they see it. And it really just captures what happened in the fourth quarter in terms of viewership. There's some charts in there, not only of our Vimeo viewership, which we can measure, and our Facebook viewership, which we can measure, and trends in that, and the top 50 shows from the past quarter. No real surprises in there. Candidates Nights did extremely well. And there's some other updates in there as well. I guess on the programming side, this affects budgeting, but the Board of Selectmen was kind enough to give our camera operators a pay increase. They have been making $25 an hour since we got started. So we came in asking for $25 an hour with a 2-hour minimum, and they said $30 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. So the deal is that the camera operators, even if a meeting is 20 minutes long, will be able to bill for 2 hours if they shoot the meeting, edit it, and do the DVD dub. That will help expedite the migration of the meeting then to Vimeo. It'll mean less work for me, and I think it'll get shows up in the air
Just like the new
faster.
teacher's contract, they have to teach a little bit more.
That's right.
Now that hits a little close to home.
We also received several grants from the Area 9 Cable Council. We received $2,710 for tech enhancements. Dave will mention what that's going to be in room 119. And $4,500 to help pay for camera operators. So with the new increased fees for camera operators, our spend is going to be a little bit faster, but when we get down to budget, I can tell you where we stand with that. But overall, things are working well. We've had, it's good to have Dave back after a few months' absence. We have, another family crisis affecting one of our other camera operators. His father is in his final days, so he's not able to work. So I'm having to sub and do some shoots this week. But we've covered everything we wanted to. We missed a couple of meetings last week due to a lack of staffing. But otherwise, it's 100% coverage, which is what the Board of Selectmen asked us to do. And happy to answer any questions. Program Guide is doing well. We're up to 915 recipients. 1/3, 33% click-through rate or open rate, and about a 4% click-through rate, people looking at agendas and Vimeos. It is really interesting. MailChimp, when I send it out on Friday afternoon, I can track how many opens I've had. And by Friday, within the first hour of it being sent out, we've had almost 100 opens. So people are looking at it, I don't think just out of curiosity about what's on Channel 79, because I also list all the upcoming meetings next week with agendas, when they're going to be, and I think people look at that and they rely on that as well as the town website, which still is lacking sometimes in specificity of some of that information.
Should I tell our Friday story?
Go ahead.
We, Friday night was the opening ceremony for the bicentennial celebration.
Right, which we covered live.
Which we covered live, and we broadcast live on Facebook. Figuring that all the music that we played with the slides leading up to the open was public domain. And
Classical music.
Classical music, and that the Tudor singers would have the rights to their song. but unbeknownst to us, for a minute and 10 seconds, there was some filler music of Bruce Springsteen, which Facebook algorithms caught. I got 3 emails during the event and saw that we were initially banned in 15 countries until we could provide proof that we had the rights to born in the USA. So after it ran, we took it down, and then we're editing it and taking out the Bruce Springsteen filler that we didn't have the rights to the music. But we were banned for a while in Argentina, Bolivia. It gave us a list of the country, but Facebook was right on top of it. Interesting, YouTube did not
Didn't
catch it of the algorithm. Technology update.
We got a grant from Area 9 to finish off room 119, which basically means we've been running on SDI and a combination of SDI and high definition, and we're going to go totally over to high definition and update one piece of equipment that we had to remove from there and bring to the 206 booth that died. It was one of the original pieces that was put in here 13 years ago. And so that will then be replaced as part of this grant as well, down at 119. And that will happen a week from Thursday. It was due to happen today, but there were meetings in the room, couldn't be done.
Yeah, we went live on the Rules Committee meeting last night from 119, but
Yes.
but she had to run up to.
Yeah, that's
Right.
going to be a bit of a pain for a short time yet.
Yeah, because once the town gets through this busy period,
Yeah.
they can fix the
Yeah,
problem.
it's basically a twisted pair going down and back.
Yeah, it would save us the money doing
Yeah.
elsewhere.
The power in Town Hall is also going to be shut off on Saturday morning for transformer installation or some such thing until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which means we're going to be off the air. I'm gonna, when they get ready to turn the juice back on, they're gonna call me and I'll run over and see if we need to reset anything in the booth. But Vimeo will still be there, but our live stream to cable will have color bars, I assume.
It'll have color bars inserted by Optimum.
Yeah.
But basically, once the rotation gets back up and power gets on, the rotation will start at the next play.
Do we inform anybody ahead of time, or?
Yeah, I put a program notice in the program guide last week. I'll do one again on Friday this week, and I'll tweet about it as well, too.
You don't knock on doors?
And don't go door to door and inform people, leave slips under their windshield wipers or anything. You know, Altice, Cablevision, Optimum is the one that brought us to the party, and we're still loyal to them. But I doubt anybody will really notice, because I think Vimeo is where people are watching us now. You know, but our YouTube feed will not be affected because we don't start that feed until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and Facebook. But I'll let people know and I'll remind them.
Let's talk a little bit about the digital upgrade project that we embarked upon last quarter. Jim and Dave and I and a couple of videographers met with Castus, which is the reseller for Castus. Which would you describe what it does?
Castus is a file-based server which will handle all video files and some others. And basically it means that we can feed in from both rooms at the same time into a server here and get rid of the old technology, which is basically SneakerNet and DVDs. And it will be able to play all of the shows we do in a week if we care to. Right now we're limited to 6 shows a week on rotation. And this will upgrade it to how many ever we wish to put in there, plus notices, plus bulletin board. And it will also save us a lot of space in that room and some heat. And it's digitally backed up, We like Castus because it seems to be very friendly and very oriented towards service, to the point that they're willing, once we've ordered, to put in a parallel system here, get us up and running and happy with it and used to it, and then convert the old system and take the old system out. From what I can find out, is basically follow-up service is also very good. So, which is what we're looking for.
If you've taken a trip on Carnival, it's their server that's
NCL as well, too.
Yeah.
serving that. Darien Board of Education has a unit that they use, and they serve hundreds of municipalities. Jim and I also went and visited Local Live, which is a company out of Stanford that does hundreds of schools remotely, so that the producers never have to leave home. They just dial into a website and they produce a football game or a basketball game wherever it is in the United States.
Using an Xbox controller.
And Castus will have that capability. It's on their product roadmap. That and the ability to offer a Roku channel, which were the two things that were on our list that they didn't have. But that so that we could do a remote 404. If in room 119 the microphones are already in the ceiling, so a meeting could literally be produced from anywhere because the microphones are already there.
So they came down and they gave us a demo in the room here, and it met Dave's tech expectations in that it can record 2 shows simultaneously. It can hold hundreds of hours of programming. As soon as a shoot is over with, it can be immediately available on demand through the system. It will allow us to come up with a refreshed programming schedule every day if we want to, using a drag and drop. So instead of having the same 6 shows in the same rotation for 6 days a week, every night in prime time we can have a different show, either live coverage of something or replaying something as well. It looks like a real TV station, with graphics and community calendar and program guide. And the units, the first installed unit 14 years ago is still working at the community station in Massachusetts where it was originally installed. So unlike some of the other service-based systems which our neighboring towns use and have a life expectancy of about 4 years and they keep coming back asking for more, this seemed to be a very good, robust system, good service, and it looks to be the way to go.
And its workflow saves hours a
Lots
week.
of time.
It saves not minutes a week, it saves hours a week, plus being able to have a meeting right after it's over, to be able to be on demand and not have to wait 1 to 3 days depending on what the schedule is. It is a big advantage.
And it will feed directly to Vimeo and to Facebook, and there's the
Roku.
potential of having a Roku channel. They're going to add that functionality.
And feeds to Altis, and feeds to Cablevision.
And feeds to
Feeds to all of
Cablevision
our.
as well.
And you'll keep the DVDs as a backup anyway, or?
We'll probably not make DVDs.
Right, and then what's their backup? Do they have a?
They have a backup
Yeah.
system. They back up whatever's on our
In
server
the cloud or?
in the cloud.
Yeah.
I think they work with Amazon.
Yeah.
They told us.
And the next part of the project that Dave thought would be a good time, since we're on Vimeo, we're on YouTube, we have a page on the town website which is really just for link, that maybe the time has come to have a Darien TV79.org.gov.com where the technology has gotten relatively simple. Unfortunately, Sean couldn't be here tonight, but I talked to him over the weekend and I sent you some quick down and dirty mock-ups. We've got to sit down, now that we know what the potential is, we have to sit down and go over what is the functionality. It's a fairly simple functionality. You just need to be able to watch the live stream and all the on-demand streams and the playlists, and perhaps marry it with agendas and the program schedule. So it's not, we don't have any e-commerce that's required. So it's, a fairly simple, so I've got to get a time with Sean that we can sit down and say, okay, here's, in best case, the functionality that we would like. How difficult would it be to do that, to coordinate that at the same time, so that if we can get all this submitted, the goal was if we can get by April approval, we can start doing a planning of a switchover during the summer months when things are quiet.
Do you want to discuss cost and funding?
We're gonna do a funding request and go out to multiple sources to see if we can find the money, but it'll be in the neighborhood of $40,000. When you look at everything all in, it'll be in the neighborhood of $40,000. 14 years ago, it would have been $200,000 with what and that time might be low on what the cost of a server and the technology would have been back then. So anyway, so that's an update on the digital upgrade. You'll want to talk about the current budget and where with the adjustments.
So with the increased fees that we're paying our camera operators, our spend on the operations side is a little faster than it has been in previous years. December is when the new rates started, so just to give you an idea, December of this past year, we paid $1,845 compared to $1,200 December of the year before, $1,200 the December of the year before that, $1,100 the year before that. So the new pay rate's going to burn through our budget a little bit faster, but we've increased our budget request for camera operators in the new 2021 budget from $22,000 a year to $24,000, and we received $4,500 for camera operators from Area 9. The Area 9 money we spend last, because that can roll over from year to year. And I think I requested from Jennifer, the finance director, the latest metrics, but she's a little busy doing budget stuff, so when I get that from her in the coming days, I'll send it along to you. We still have lots of money left over from previous Area 9 operation grants, as well as, so our burn rate now, if I extrapolated it correctly, at the current spending based on what December looked like, we'd only be spending about $21,000. It may be a bit more this year, depending on other special shoots, bicentennial, things like that. But we're fine on the operations side. We put in a request, a kind of placeholder token request for capital equipment of $3,000 in case we needed to replace something, and the finance department said, that's not a capital request, we'll just put that under supplies. So our ask is going to go up slightly from the previous year, but that's the ask. We'll see what the Board of Selectmen does, and when it comes down to justifying expense. But I think we're well set. We're not going to have any problems certainly getting through this fiscal year.
We also have in the upgrade plan the final replacement of the original cameras that are in the
Auditorium in 213.
in 213,
Which will require the switcher replacement as well.
right, at the same time. So that would complete the switch over. So all of the cameras would have been on a replacement cycle of 12 years. The next meeting, was it the April 14th that you had the conflict when you were away?
I'm not going to be able to hear.
All right, so I'm going to have to send out some amended dates for the April 14th meeting, either going a little earlier or going a little later, probably a little later, probably back for the, if we had the meeting in the same week as the quarterly, or are you going for that?
I may not be here for that, hoping I'm not going to be here for that.
So look for a day in May.
I'll let you know what
Okay.
my April away dates are.
Yeah, so then I'll send out a date and see if we can find a date. Any other new business to bring up?
Questions, comments?
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.